welcome to episode number 6 of the Triple Crown Conversations podcast. Muffin, Austin, where are we at right now?
At the mountains of Kentucky, it looks like the lake.
We decided we wanted the view for the podcast today, so we got out of my basement, thankfully, and got out here. It's actually a little overcast, not a great day to be outside, but we got fish jumping behind us. Me and Muffin brought our poles out here.
Yeah, I'm sad we forgot them.
We were gonna catch a live bass and put it on the table, but we decided that might not be the best idea.
Fillet it on stream.
Yeah. So we got an actual view for y'all today. It's nice little view of the lake. But we'll go ahead and get started. Y'all got any interesting stories from the past week?
No,
I don't
not
think
really.
so. Not too many. I've been working, so.
Yeah.
Our lives are pretty boring. So.
Well, we do got something coming up tomorrow.
Oh,
Me and
Saturday.
Tyler got a big old basketball tournament coming up.
Got a 3v3 basketball tournament at Oak Hill Church on Saturday. Probably not gonna win it because there's some pretty good teams in it, but
No confidence.
we're gonna try our best.
We tried getting Austin to come out in a suit for the coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be our coach.
Couldn't get him. I don't blame him.
You know, I might have a change of heart by Saturday. So we'll see.
Well, maybe by the time y'all are watching this, we may be done and we may have lost already. But if y'all
Or
want to
may
come
have
out,
won. May
yeah.
have won.
if y'all want to come out and watch, give us a student section. That'd be nice. You know, we're gonna need it. But we'll go ahead and get started so we don't have any interesting stories. We're gonna talk about the NFL Combine. Austin, did you have some players that you liked
Yeah.
watching at the Combine?
Last episode, I mentioned Ray Davis. He looked really good in his drills and his measurements. But he looked good. Bowers, unfortunately, didn't really do any drills. Powers Johnson, the center from Oregon, who I think Steelers are looking at heavily, he looked real good. So it's going to be, you know, a stacked draft. Absolutely stacked. A lot of people said that it was going to be weak, but receivers are stacked. Running backs were a lot more stacked than I thought. And there's a running back out of Boise State my buddy Cody put me on to. I think his name's Holland or something like that. And he looked real good. Kind of reminds me of Le'Veon Bell, how he runs and stuff, but a little quicker and a lot less patient. But, yeah, there's a lot to take in over the weekend. So.
There's a lot of quarterbacks coming out, too, for a lot of teams. This is like last year, there wasn't so many quarterbacks, but this year it's crazy loaded up. So I don't even know if any teams that really need a quarterback, but maybe to get a young one behind somebody would be
solid
nice.
backup.
Yeah.
I seen where one guy, he's a wide receiver from Texas. I think he ran the fastest 40.
What,
did.
4.22 or something?
What's his name? Like Xavier Worthy?
Worthy, yeah. Well, the first time he ran a 4.25, and people were wondering if he was going to rerun it, and they were waiting, and then finally he said, "Yeah, I'm going to go for it," and everybody was happy. And he ran an unofficial 4.22 and tied it, which was John Ross, former receiver of the Bengals. But then officially it came out that he broke the record. So congrats to him, and let's see where he goes.
I seen where he was like projected second round pick, and now off of that performance, he's a first round pick.
Yeah.
Off of that?
Yeah, that's how it happens a lot, and that's why John Ross to the Bengals happened, based off him breaking the record. So it's like you
He
can't
was
really.
also awful.
Yeah, he was.
He did
I
turn
think
that
he's out of
off.
the league too, ain't he?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
But speed, speed's one thing, but how you use your speed, like a Tyreek Hill, how you can change up directions of your route running and stuff, that's what matters. And can he stay healthy with that frame? We'll see. So, yeah.
I liked Ray Davis, too. I remember him at
Ray
Kentucky.
Davis.
He was good at Kentucky. He
was
holds
really
the
good.
single season touchdown record at Kentucky.
Yeah.
He was really the one that held the team together this year,
Yeah,
a
right.
lot of it.
Yeah. But some other news from the Combine. Texas Tech player, I've never heard of him before, but Tyler Owens is his name. He comes out.
Something about them Tylers,
Yeah,
man.
he gets interviewed and says that he doesn't believe in outer space.
Why
This
would
is-
you say this at the Combine?
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. Like, that's
His exact quote is, he doesn't believe in space, as in other planets, and feels like flat Earth theories have some valid points. So he's saying he kind of believes in the flat Earth too, and then he comes down and says that he also doesn't believe that the United States landed on the moon in 1969.
This guy.
Now
So-
that part I can understand, honestly. I don't believe that the moon happened, but I do believe in space. I believe there's people up there
Oh yeah.
in space.
Do
But
you believe in aliens?
no, I feel like if there was aliens, they would have tried to get here by now successfully. But I can understand the not the landing on the moon. I've seen a lot of stuff about it, but I don't believe it either. But the space theory's crazy, and I think the flat Earth theory's crazy as well. I think the space theory, there's people up there. We've gotten video proof of it from nowadays, even like back in the early days. They still got video of it. So I don't believe that one, but that's a crazy statement to make at the draft combine, especially.
I've never heard of somebody say that I actually don't believe in space. Like, that doesn't make any sense. At least, like, I mean, you gotta wait until after the combine. You know, this could hurt his draft stock to people that might think he's so stupid. So really, I don't know what he's thinking he's accomplishing here, really. So at least like when Aaron Rodgers says that all this crazy stuff, at least he's, Aaron Rodgers, and he's made $300 million.
Yeah,
in
Hall of
his
Fame
career.
quarterback.
Yeah. So people don't take that, he's done ruining his career by saying that. You have any other thoughts about that, Austin?
Yeah, like I believe it's not a flat Earth. So I'm just gonna say that and end that. But space, like the International Space Station, is it just like not up there? Is that what he's talking about? And all these other planets, how would they work without any space? But,
like there's literally places dedicated to learning about space and going.
yeah,
to space.
and we got our own. What is it? Technically a military branch in the Space Force.
Space, yeah.
So it's like, buddy, I don't know where you've been. Maybe you've been under a rock.
What are they teaching at Texas
But,
Tech?
yeah, Texas Tech. I don't know.
Just don't look good on Texas Tech.
What's
learning.
crazy is they produced Patrick Mahomes, so
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Maybe they need to come out and ask Patrick Mahomes what he thinks about it.
Kyrie Irving was kind of the same thing. So I don't understand it. Like I believe in what most people believe in. So I don't know.
Well, he wasn't the only one that came out and said something. Illinois' tight end, he gets interviewed. His name's Tip Raymond. He says birds aren't real.
What is it with these players?
Hey, matter of fact, let's see if we see any.
His actual quote. He says, "Birds aren't real. Birds are not simply creatures found in nature, but perhaps devices that serve a darker purpose," is what he said. Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? How do we know that power lines aren't pigeon recharging stations?
What?
That's a thought. That is an opinion. That is certainly an opinion.
Yeah.
It's not a very good opinion, but
What is it with these players this year? Like, I've never heard of players coming out and saying this stuff. Like, in the combine.
Did we just go away with the drug test at the combine? Like, I don't understand. It's like we've seen a couple birds since we've been sitting here, so I don't understand it.
According to him, these birds are actually drones that operate as spies for the government. That's what he says. I'm reading the exact quote.
Spies for the government? What are they, my exes on their little handheld? Yeah.
Thing is people kill birds all the time and skin them. So how are you gonna prove that theory? I mean, it seems like if you went out and killed a bird, say a duck or anything, and skinned it, you'd find more than just meat and stuff if they were sent by the government.
Yeah.
I just think it's more of a being paranoid. I think that's basically what it is. And it's like, it makes no sense. So, they're going to have their little opinions that stick out, but I don't understand where it comes from, honestly. So.
Yeah, so I don't know if these guys are really helping their draft stock very much.
I say not.
They definitely have some interesting opinions that we're talking about it, so that's maybe one way to get their names out there.
This is true.
I may come out next episode and say gravity isn't real.
You say one of them was a linebacker?
Yeah.
Well, we need a linebacker.
So.
Let's stay away from that.
A tight end. One of them was a tight end.
And the other was an inside linebacker?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, stay away from that guy, man. I don't trust him.
All right, we'll move on from the NFL Combine. Kentucky basketball, 2 more wins.
There we go.
Kentucky basketball beats Arkansas last Saturday, 111-102. That's a high-scoring college basketball game. And then they came out and beat Vandy last night, 93-77. 2 wins that they had to have. Arkansas and Vandy aren't very good, but they had to have those 2 wins going into playing Tennessee on Saturday in a big game. So Kentucky now sits at 22-8, 12-5 in the SEC. Most likely a 4 seed right now in the NCAA tournament. Could move up to a 3 once if we do win on Saturday against Tennessee and make a good run in the SEC tournament. Do you all think we got a chance in March
I think Tennessee just won yesterday, so that put them at what, number 1 now, aren't they?
in the SEC?
Yeah, they won the SEC. So I think we could beat Tennessee Saturday, especially since we've been on a roll right now. We're on fire, it seems like. It seems like nobody can beat us right now. And they've been high-scoring games, too. It's not like they've been, like, 50 points and here and there no more. I mean, the past 3 have been over 100, I believe, or close to it. I know last game was 90-something. They've been really high-scoring games lately, so I think if we stay on the streak we're on, we could beat Tennessee, and I think we could make a run in the tournament that's coming up.
I think it's all about momentum, and right now getting those 2 wins are big. And then if you can walk in and beat Tennessee, where is that? In Tennessee?
It's at Tennessee, yeah.
Okay, so that's gonna be hard by itself. So, but yeah, if you can win that game, you walk into the tournament with a lot of momentum, and that's what you kind of need when it comes down to the tourney. And I think Kentucky's got a team that they can make a run, but they're going to have to play hard, and they're going to have to step up on defense and just make sure they hit their shots. That's the biggest things. So I think they can make a good run. I think they got a good shot. And I haven't really seen much out of the other teams. Like, everybody's hit or miss, so it's going to be interesting. But, yeah, I do think they have a shot.
Yeah, I think the problem with this team, like, you really don't know which team you're going to get. But if they can stay consistent, I mean, they've won 6 out of their last 7 now, so they're starting to put more consistent games together. If they can stay consistent, I mean, you got to win 6 in a row to win the NCAA championship. So if they can do that, I definitely can see them being a Final Four team. I don't know about a national championship team, but I can definitely seeing them being a Final Four team, which, you know, that'd be much better than what we have been in the past few years.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I know the Tyler here put a lot of money on them to go to the Final Four.
Yeah, I got if they make the Final Four, I got $70 if they win the Final Four. So.
There you go. Me and Tyler last night put us a little parlay together. Tyler's been cooking them up lately.
Yeah, Iowa State came up clutch last night. That's all I'm gonna say. We got some free money to use our bets with on this app. So I was like, Muffin, let's just put 20. I mean, it's not our money, so. We can't lose with it. So I'm like, let's just put $25 on it's like Iowa State, Houston, UConn.
And I can't remember the last one, but it's something crazy.
There's 2 more.
Tennessee.
Kentucky was one of them.
No, we didn't pick
We
Kentucky.
You didn't pick Kentucky?
Well, no.
Their
odds were crazy, yeah.
Yeah, but I picked Kentucky. Even though I didn't win any, I picked Kentucky. And they won, so.
I mean, this guy here puts 80-leg parlays. I mean,
now listen, buddy. They're only $1, so it's a low risk, high reward type of deal. So,
yeah, I'm normally not the best at betting, but when I get free money, I'm definitely gonna use it. So.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
All right, NFL news again. Mike Evans signs 2-year, $52 million extension to stay with the Buccaneers.
I knew he would. I figured he would. My dad and me was arguing about it. He thought he'd go with Baker wherever he went because he likes Baker apparently, but. I knew he'd sign back with him. He's been with them his whole career, and I feel like once you've been with the team that long, and I mean, especially when you're getting older, I feel like you're best to stay with your team you've been with your whole career. Retire with them at least. He's had a Super Bowl and all kinds of stuff, so I think it is about time for him to retire here in a couple of years. So I think it was good that he signed with the Bucs. I like that.
Oh yeah, and I read something that said. He's like one of the oldest players to sign that big of a contract for a receiver. And now Baker's side and the Bucs are now working hard to get a deal done and keep him in Tampa Bay too. So it's a matter of time. I think they're going to get a deal done, and it's going to keep them both locked in. And Mike Evans will retire a Buck, which that's what they wanted. And honestly, he's been pretty good. He's still continuing the same production, basically, getting touchdowns, getting 1,000-yard season. So I'm interested to see how his career pans out these next 2 years and what Baker's cap hit's going to be. Because he was asking for what, like 40, 45 million?
Something crazy.
And it's going to be crazy, but we'll have to wait and see. So, but yeah, congrats, man. He deserves it. And he's a future Hall of Famer as we speak. So,
yeah, there's a lot of news in the NFL recently. Russell Wilson gets released by the Broncos. That might have been one of the worst trades I've ever seen by a team. They gave up so much for Russell Wilson. He was so bad for them.
yeah.
And which really, I didn't really think that was a great trade to begin with. But I didn't think it was going to end up being this bad for the Broncos.
There's honestly people who said that the Broncos won that deal. It's like, how? It's like, you really can't sit there and tell me that the Broncos, during that time, won that deal. With as much as picks and players that Seattle got. And Fant, he's been all right. But they got a couple other players who I can't remember exactly who.
They had like
But,
2 first-round picks from them, didn't they?
Yeah,
Two or
something like
three.
that. And didn't they get Witherspoon from them?
I
From
think
that
so.
deal? The corner?
In last year's draft?
Yeah,
they
and
got
then
that pig.
Jackson Smith and Jigba. So it's got to pair it out because, with their picks, they can pick other needs, so they can use their original picks to get like players like in Jigba and all them. So, but now they're starting to. It looks like they're starting to sell a couple players. So it's going to be an interesting situation to see. But ultimately, I think Seattle for sure won that trade. But yeah, Russ is washed, man. And there's a rumor out there that we're interested. The Steelers are. It's like maybe as a backup. I trust Kenny. So
They're supposed to interview him. It just
Yeah,
came out today
yeah.
that the Steelers are interviewing him first out of all the teams. They're going to be the first to interview him.
But this is the same guy that's got more bathrooms in his mansion in Denver than he's probably had wins the last 2 seasons, so that's kind of crazy. But he'd probably have to settle for a backup role at this point in his career. I don't want to see him as a starter for us. I think he's too washed and put us in bad situations. And Kenny, he'll come in the next season with the new OC, have better shot, and we'll have to wait and see.
Broncos country.
Yeah, Broncos country, let's ride.
Let's
It's going to be
Right.
Steelers Nation. Let's ride this year, baby.
Gonna ride that bench.
All right. Jason Kelsey also retires. This is a bit. I'm kind of happy to see that as a Cowboys fan. He was a really good center for the Eagles for a while, but
Yeah, he had like a 50-minute speech or something.
Yeah, it was a
All
great
his family
speech,
was there.
honestly.
yeah, he's been really good for the Eagles. They're gonna have to find a replacement for him, which I'm happy to see.
Yeah.
He was contemplating it though. He had been talking about it last season. He said he was going to retire too, and they made that run. And I think this year, if he was going for the Super Bowl, and if they didn't get it, I figured. I honestly thought he was going to come back the way he's talking to the fans and stuff. I seen him somewhere. He's like, "Yeah, I'm coming back one more season." Before he came out and said he's officially retiring.
Yeah.
But I went and watched the Kelsey, the Prime, Amazon Prime had a movie about him, and it's talking about how he's contemplating it the whole season, retiring the next one. So I'm glad he did retire with the Eagles, the same team he had been with his whole. I like when the players retire with the teams they've been with and don't go ring chasing. So I am happy that he retired, and especially on a good note. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. So
Yeah, it sucks as a Ohio boy, and he played for University of Cincinnati as a walk-on. You got a Hall of Fame center that he made it as a walk-on in college, and then goes to the pros and has one of the best years careers as a center. And the only problem is, they're gonna probably need a center now, like we do. So I wouldn't be surprised if they draft Oregon center, Powers Johnson, I think his name is. But yeah. But I did hear some kind of rumor a couple years back that said when he does retire, that their guard Dickerson would slide over to center. But I don't know how that would pan out. Which he's been solid
I
guard.
think he played center in Alabama, didn't he?
yeah, he did.
Yeah. So I don't know if he'll slide over and then they'll just draft a guard, if that'd be easier, or they'll just go with.
It might depend on who's left in the draft,
Yeah, but
depending on what they do.
they should have a decent pick, and Powers Johnson should be there. But it's like one of those picks, like they do need a lot more needs. So I'm hoping he slides to us and we scoop him up. But if not, Frazier from West Virginia is the name to watch for us. But yeah, amazing career, man. And I remember the Super Bowl parade the Eagles had. He wore the
He wore that big old hat and stuff, yeah.
And then when the Chiefs won it this past season, he had like the lucha mask and was a DJ.
He was at the party.
He's just a character. So, but yeah, we'll be watching his podcast with Travis and seeing him more. But
It's not better than this one, though.
no, none of them more. But yeah, congrats on a great career, man.
He's not very old, though, is he? He's like, what, 34 maybe? Or is he older than
I
that?
think he's like 38.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was
Yeah, he's older.
He's got bad knees, is why I think he retired. He's getting
Yeah.
bad health, and he said in the documentary he wanted to be able to run around with his kids and stuff still without being injured all the time. So
Yeah, and they're still pretty young, so you got to have at least some good.
he's probably the
Like,
only center that I know. I mean, I know a few of them that are actual like Hall of Famers that I can remember. I mean, I can't think of too many other centers right now that's guaranteed Hall of Famers, but he's definitely one of them.
I seen a story recently. I think I seen it yesterday about Travis Kelsey, his brother, and he was saying. I think he was talking about it on their podcast. He was saying that on him when he got drafted. I don't remember what year it was, but he had an interview with the Cowboys, and
seen that.
And they said that he was like, because he had got kicked off the team at Cincinnati for smoking weed or something like that.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys were like, I don't think we're going to draft you because of our concerns with you, with your smoking weed, get kicked off the team and everything. And he basically explained that whole situation. And we didn't end up drafting him. So, I don't know. I guess that was a bad move now that we look back at it. But
Well, it depends. Like now you can look back on it and be like, it was a bad move, but like back then, like it was smart with the concerns. Like it happened to Laramie Tunsil. Remember him with the gas mask and
Yeah.
smoking, and he slid to the Dolphins. Look, he's one of the best, if not the best, left tackles in football. But didn't y'all have Jason Witten that time too?
yeah.
So like he would have rode behind him at like a 1-2 package. So he might not have,
He might have
developed.
I'm gonna come out and state
good.
this: Jason Witten is better than Kelsey. I've
think
got
so,
him on
buddy?
my higher overall.
Okay, buddy.
I've got him higher ranked. I love Jason Kelsey.
Yeah,
Yes.
but Jason,
Or
or
not Jason,
Travis is
Witten.
Travis is more athletic, and he can find us holes. And Witten's a Hall of Famer. Don't get me wrong, but Travis is too, and he's still got years on his.
Witten was just a dog, though. I liked
He
Witten.
was-
I've always liked Witten.
Yeah,
I just remember that one play where he ran with his helmet off against the Eagles.
yeah, yeah.
That was,
Yeah, that was real
crazy.
good.
And it came out. I remember it came out when Cowboys were thinking about firing McCarthy. Apparently, Jerry Jones was looking to hire Jason Witten as head coach if they
That's
fired
like
McCarthy.
Jeff Saturday with the Colts.
Yeah.
It's like I don't understand what everybody's beef
That would
is
be-
with Vrabel. If it is it's starting to really look like the rumor was true about his size, because it's like at this point, what is there to go off of? He took the Titans to the playoffs, man.
That would be the
And
type of move that Jerry Jones would make, though.
What?
For
Bringing in
Jason
Jason
Witten?
Witten as head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least give him a DC position, man. It's like, or a linebacker, give him something. But yeah, and to touch back on it, it was a smart move by you all though. Like at that time with the weed and all that and the concerns, it's like you want to build the best team and you don't want to have any distractions or any of that.
Sounds like a
so.
type of guy the Steelers would pick up. Antonio Brown and Ben Roethlisberger when he was in
Well,
that.
listen here, okay. AB was solid. He was one of the best receivers of his time. And it didn't happen until, Juju came along, which I understand why he went off, but now he's got all these CTE issues, it looks like. But, yeah. I mean, it can be like the Browns, They couldn't find a quarterback for 20 years?
Nope, we still ain't got
Then
one
you
really.
get Deshaun Watson. It's like,
Okay, buddy. I didn't want Deshaun Watson, to be fair.
But, yeah.
All right, moving on. So, guys, have you ever thought to yourself, why do we cry? Like, when
No.
you're sitting there crying, do you ever think, why is this happening?
I mean, there's so many.
I feel like it'd be emotions would be my answer. Is
Yeah.
why do men cry? Because of emotions?
I mean, there's a lot of factors like mourning. You lose somebody that you care about and love. It's it's expected that you're gonna cry.
The Cowboys losing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tyler.
I don't think I've ever cried over the Cowboys, but I have cried over Kentucky basketball.
Big Ben owning your team.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, emotional. Mourning, heartbreak, which it's kind of crazy. But
Well, it's
What's
apparently
so crazy about that?
hey, you got this behind you. Go grab a fishing pole and get over it. Okay? But no, it's like
Well, there's a study done, and apparently when you cry, you're sending a signal out to other people for help. And there's actually a difference between your crying tears and tears to get something out of your eye. So like when you're like you got something in your eyes get watery and stuff.
Yeah.
Those are different tears than when you're actually crying. Apparently when you're
Hey, man.
crying, when your tears come down your face, it's more like thicker tears and they stay on your face longer to signal to someone you need help. That's what this study has
There's
done.
no way.
That's what this study has done. Yeah, that's exactly.
So
I mean-
certain tears stay on your face longer, so people ask you and help you.
Yeah. And then
That's wild. I don't.
like when you think about it, when there's something in your eye, you don't actually like have tears running down your face. It's just like gets watery so you can get it out.
yeah, but usually if it starts watering, you'll wipe it real quick
Yeah.
at the same time. So
Yeah.
it's like there's that factor, but I don't know where all these studies are coming from. It's like we're studying everything nowadays. We might study how many hairs we got on our head. And who knows?
So there's y'all's lesson for the day. You come on here, you
Yeah.
learn something
Tyler's
from
lessons of
me
the
every
day.
time.
I mean, what have we learned about Hercule Durkle?
You learn about breakfast, man.
Yeah, what breakfast meant. What else have we learned about from you?
All
They-
kinds of stuff.
I think that was only the two. That was-
Why do men cry?
Yeah.
Why do
yeah.
we cry?
Well, that's why anybody cries, not just men.
Oh.
But yeah, so now you know why.
I don't believe that study, to be fair.
I
think that study's made up.
I think pigeons aren't real either.
It's like when they do these studies, do they get like 100 people or do they get like 10, the 5 range, something small, which is kind of crazy. You'd want something larger to see how that pans out, but yeah.
Okay, so this picture is going around on Twitter. I don't know if y'all have seen it, but there's a picture of a Kentucky fan at the game on Saturday when they played Arkansas. They were down in that game by 9 at one point in the second half, and he's out like in the parking lot of Rupp Arena. So he was in the game. He was standing in the back of his truck listening to the game on the radio with his head down on his bed of his truck like he was so nervous for the game. And I seen that picture and I was like, that is me. Like if that was someone else, that would be. I can never leave a game because I'm too nervous, but I will sit there and pace in my basement like floor. And I'll sit there and pace back and forth. Especially when they're down in the second half like that to a team like Arkansas.
I have so many questions.
So you could probably go see that. You can probably go
Okay,
look
to
that
be
picture
fair,
up.
Tyler sent us a video last night, and he was cheering on
Oh, God. Yeah.
It was Iowa State. 'cause we
Iowa
were-
State, and he sent us a video like screaming, like shirt off and everything. He
I
sent us
said, whoa, dude, what's up with the shirt off?
I just got out of the shower.
he was watching,
It's worse.
and he sent us a video, and it was wild. So I know he gets crazy in that basement.
Yeah.
Iowa State had just hit a 3 to tie, and that was our last thing we needed to win that money. So
Yeah,
if
he's
they
like,
won-
let's go. It's like, first, put a shirt on. But, yeah, with this guy, like, when he was in the back of his truck, was it the radio in his truck?
No, I on his phone. Like he had his phone up to his ear.
So, like, one, why are you parked outside the stadium listening to it? Okay.
Well, I'm
Two,
sure he was.
why do you have it on your phone instead of your truck radio when you could sit in there and lean back?
He might have been tailgating or something.
Well,
a
like,
lot
he
of
was
them sit
in the-
out there.
He was in the game, and then he walked out because he
Oh.
was so nervous. So he walked out, and I guess, I don't know why he's in the bed of his
Yeah,
truck.
yeah,
listening
like,
to it.
what's up with the bed of the truck? Just get in the truck and listen to it.
Why would you walk out when
Like-
you paid that money for them tickets?
I don't get it. I honestly don't get it.
It's like that time the Miami fans, when they were down a lot, I
Oh,
think it was the championship,
yeah,
they all
Ray,
left.
Ray Allen hit the
Yeah,
shot.
Ray Allen
yeah.
hit the
And they all
three-pointer,
tried coming
and they had
back
all
in.
left, and then
Yeah.
tried coming back in.
Because they were down a bunch. They were down a bunch, and then they just started hitting stuff, and it worked out for them. So,
I remember that game that all the fans were walking out. They thought it was over. That's kind of
Yeah.
like what he's thinking, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, I was just gonna say that would be me if I was that nervous. That's something that I would feel like I would do. But Nick Saban, he retired after they lost to Michigan in the Rose Bowl this year, and he come out and said yesterday that the reason that he retired is after the game was over, he was having exit interviews with the players, which is normal. To see what their thoughts are about coming back or transfer portal or entering the draft. And he said that 70 to 80% of his players came to him and was like, I'll come back if you give me a certain amount of money. And he's like, that was when I knew that's when I need to retire. When my players are telling me that
They need money.
they need
to play.
more money to be able to play for me. He's like, that's not the way this Alabama program's wanting to be run by me, anyways.
Yeah.
Want to be ran by me.
I understand that. I think it's crazy. College kids are getting paid as much as they are. I mean, half of them are getting more than they would in the NFL nowadays. So I don't believe in the college getting paid. I don't think they should be able to. And
Yeah, it just speaks volumes. Like, I respect what he does and Nick Saban that much more because he's like, I'm not gonna buy into this crap. And NIL, man, they should have a cap on it. Like, there's no reason 80% of your players have to come to you because you let them play in the game, and they lost. But at the same time, it's like you're playing for one of the greatest coaches of all time, and guess what? That next step he's going to prepare you for is the NFL. And look how many first rounders and early picks that Alabama's produced. So it's like you're going to get paid if you just follow his leadership. It's like good for him though, just not buying into it and saying forget it. But it's college is taking a turn, and it's like why we got the game back, but it's like now you're going to have to go build a program up and give someone $100 million on the game.
like Marvin Harrison was questioning whether to leave college or to go to the NFL
Yeah,
because he was
gonna be paid
making
more.
more where he was than going to the NFL.
Yeah.
So I think it's getting crazy
crazy.
that colleges are getting this much money.
They're gonna have to implement some kind of cap. Like, you cannot make so much more than this, and because it's just crazy how much. Well, the thing is, like, what I don't think is fair is starting quarterback is making almost $1 million more than, let's just say, just a starting like offensive lineman. Like the quarterback could be making $1 million. Starting offensive lineman may be making $20,000.
It's like it's making these kids entitled. It's like, look at some of these contracts in the NFL that are going out nowadays. It's like you got an opportunity to still get paid regardless. So it's like, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the way it's going. And I think there should be a cap. I think at the end of the day, you should be able to make some kind of money to help with, like, gas, food, make sure your tuition's paid for. So that in that aspect, yeah. But like millions of dollars, you're getting certain cars that some people might not have in their lifetime. I don't like it. But cap might be what's best for it all.
It's funny because they said Marvin Harrison was making more than Brock Purdy, so I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Brock Purdy's only making like $700,000,
Yeah.
which is,
But
good for
there-
any of us. But
There is a good opportunity. He signs a good contract this season, so. And he has a roommate in San
Yeah.
Fran.
Yeah,
Well, it's
he's
like-
having to.
It's like, what? But we'll have to wait and see.
But it just shows that those older coaches like that, they ain't gonna tolerate that. They'll just retire. Like you won't see the older coaches anymore coach till they're 60, 65. It'll probably be 60 the max age that they'll coach because of NIL and transfer portal. They don't want to deal with it all. Which I can't really say I blame them either. It's a lot more work for them, even though they're making millions and millions of dollars to do it. It is a lot more work on them. But any other thoughts?
I don't think so. I'm
For-
thinking we should have brought our poles.
Yeah,
I hear like 100
They're-
fish
they're
jumping. There's like 100 of them behind us jumping all over.
I seen a shark earlier. I swear.
The alligator they found.
Allegedly.
But
yeah, this episode's been really cool. Be down here by the lake. We're not going to tell you exactly where we are, but some might know. But yeah, it's peaceful. You know, it gives us something different to throw into the podcast. So
we've been wanting to kind of go different places with the podcast, and we were just thinking, you know, why not bring it to the lake? You know, so if anyone wants to host us, or you know, wants has
maybe get on a baseball field or something.
Has any other suggestions that we can do it at, that'd be awesome, because we may try and do it at a different location every week. Who knows? But if you all don't have anything else, we'll probably wrap it up. I'm not sure how many minutes we're at right now, but make sure to like, subscribe, and hopefully this will be out by Saturday or so. We might go catch some fish while we're here, but we'll see you next time.